Hey guys, welcome back. Kelly and Tom here, Fit Station. Continuing on our Fit 101 series. Today we're going to do legs. Okay, Kelly, why don't you give them an idea of what we're going to get into?
All right, so first we're going to start with free squats or body weighted squats to get you warmed up. And we're going to give you 3 different versions of those, so you choose which one you feel like works best for you.
Yeah, we want to give you an idea of some options there because we realize there's going to be different levels. Okay, we're going to have some folks that are maybe have never worked out, that are just getting into health and fitness. Then we're going to have some that maybe just had a layoff, or maybe some that are just getting back into it, or maybe some that are moving up a little bit. So we're going to show you 3 different levels there. Then we'll go ahead and get into our leg exercises. Keep in mind, legs are one of the biggest muscle parts in the body. Okay, so it's going to require a lot more energy. It's going to require time. So generally we do those on a day by themselves, huh? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into it, and here we go.
Shoulder width, slightly turning the toes out. In other words, you don't want the toes turned to the inside. I like to brace my arms over my shoulders. You can go here or here. And then you're going to push the hips out the back, bending in the hip and the knee at the same time. Come down to about a 90-degree angle, press through the heels, and drive yourself up. I'm going to go for 10 here. Notice how my hips are going way out the back. No, it is not ladylike, but this is so you can look like a lady later. So I like to tell people that one of the cues here, public restroom, we all know what that means. All right. So I think I got 4 more.
Good tip.
And last one. All right, now I'm gonna give Tom a turn.
Okay, so I do a version typically called a sissy squat, okay? I like these, obviously I'm a little bit more advanced, so I like a little bit more pressure on my thighs, okay? So let me show you how that's done. Generally, use a machine or use something that's stable, okay? You want to put your feet out in front of your rear end. So you're not standing up like a typical squat and going straight down, okay? You're coming at an angle like this. This is going to put more tension on your thighs, okay? And it's as simple as this. You notice how my plane from my rear end pretty much stays the same. And this is kind of similar to a hack squat, okay? But again, a hack squat is a little bit more advanced machine. So I like to do these to get warmed up. Again, 10, 12 is a good rep range. You don't need to go real fast. You want to keep the tension on the muscle. Okay. Kelly's going to show you one more option that you have for doing warm-up.
All right, so this one, I'm going to show you from the back side. And what I'm doing is I'm dropping this bar down, right at shoulder level, bringing my feet right underneath the bar, same width, right at shoulder width. And this is if you feel like you need more assistance. All right, and so you're just going to, again, bend in the hip and the knee at the same time, drive through those heels, and come up. So you'll do 10 here. You're just bracing here. Do not pull up on the bar. You're still focusing on using the muscles of the legs to get you up and down. This is just a brace to keep you balanced. This also helps you keep your shoulders back and your chest upright. I'm going to give that last squeeze to the glutes at the top of the squat. And again, you're coming down to about that 90-degree angle. Ankle to the knee to the hip, if possible.
Now, let me just point out a couple of things. Keep in mind, Kelly's more advanced. She's been competing and all these different types of things. But it is a good tip that particularly you ladies, but you men too, can utilize. You'll notice how when she comes up, go ahead and do it, how she's tensing her glutes, okay? So we're going to get more into that. We're going to have a glute day for you, and we'll show you a straight glute workout. But the whole leg region, okay, can be initiated by the squat. The squat is probably the single best exercise you can do. And so don't neglect those glutes when you come up like that. Go ahead and tense them, okay? Very, very good for the glutes.
Another tip is to make sure you're driving through the heels of the feet. Keep the toes flat, but drive through the heels. That actually helps you utilize more of the glutes, quads, and hamstrings.
Okay, good deal, guys. Now we're gonna get into our first actual workout, okay? Our first exercise.
Hey guys, so now what we're gonna do is a leg extension, which is gonna target the quadriceps, or the front of the thighs. So one thing that you always wanna make sure of when you're in a leg extension machine is that you are lined up correctly. Usually you will have a pivot point here on your machine that shows you where your knee should end up. Your knees are usually just a little bit off the pad. And then you do want your back nice and pressed into that pad if possible. If not, try and find something to support your back because you don't want to bow out. All right, and then you want to hold on, extend from the legs, control it, and then lower down. We're gonna go for 10 to 12 reps here. Again, think about focusing on the front of the thighs, using the muscles. Notice I am not using any momentum to lift this. And also you notice that I don't let the plates touch, so I'm always keeping that tension right in the front of the thighs. And even when it gets hard, you keep that tension. Don't swing the weight around and don't let it drop. All right, and that should be my last one. So you should feel a nice warming sensation right there in the front of those thighs.
Cool. Okay guys, I'll pull up just so you can see the quads working. But essentially, just like Kelly said, get yourself set, your position, keep your back against the backrest here. You don't want to hurt your back or anything like that. You can do that. A couple other fine point tips that we can utilize for this exercise. When you come up, and I know on camera we can't see our feet, but when you come up, keep your toes up. Okay, so for example, if you take a look at my thigh right now, you can see it relaxes a little bit with my toe extended. My toe up, it tenses it up, okay? So we're gonna do the same principle as we're doing the exercise, okay? Again, keeping a nice steady, a little bit longer on the way down, up a little bit faster. Time under tension, remember that principle, we keep echoing that, but you want to keep the muscle under tension. It doesn't grow when it's relaxed. It grows when it's under tension. My toes are pointed straight up, okay? So I don't have my toes out like this or in like this. Notice when I get to the top of the movement, I do hold it for a moment, intense. Again, a little bit of advanced technique, but there's no reason why you can't start doing that now. It's a very good technique to have, and it will aid in faster, more rapid muscle growth. Okay, we do this exercise first, typically after our warm-ups. We're utilizing a principle called pre-exhaustion, okay, where we're going to pre-exhaust the front quads before we get into our next exercise, okay? I tend to like a little higher reps on these, and this machine, frankly, I haven't used before, so I'm not sure how much to use, but 10 to 12 generally. But it's okay to do more. Okay, that's that. We'll get into our next one now.
All right guys, so I'm gonna show you a squat, and we're gonna do that on the Smith machine. So what we're gonna do here is take our feet shoulder width apart. We're gonna lift up the bar, and then get your feet in place. Okay, now placement of the bar should not be on the spine or sitting on the neck. It should actually be resting on the upper back muscles or on the traps. And you try not to push down on this bar, you're just letting it rest. Taking those feet shoulder width apart, you're gonna start to hinge from the hip and the knee at the same time. Coming down to about a 90-degree angle and then press through the heels to come up. And we're going to do 10 to 12 of these. Again, making sure the hips are going out back. And if you feel like you have enough flexibility to go deeper, you can go into a deeper squat, pressing through the heels, so you get a little bit more glute activation with that. You can just start short range until you gain the flexibility and strength. Again, here, we're not using momentum. Control on the way down and on the way up. Letting the back side go out the back. All right.
So again, guys, Kelly gave you some really nice tips on some partial movement and full movement. So the full movement is going to give you the most bang for your buck, as they say. It's going to give you the most development, not only in the thighs, but also in the glutes and hams, okay? However, if you do not have that capability, you're just not there yet, you don't have the mobility, or you don't have the flexibility, or perhaps you just don't feel confident yet, don't do anything that's going to hurt you, okay? This is the 101 series. We'll get into more advanced stuff down the road, and as you progress, you can come with our videos to the more advanced stuff. But this is the 101 series, so that's great tips as far as a partial movement down and then a partial movement up. Remember, keeping the intensity on the thigh area, okay? Even if you only go halfway down, okay? So, and she gave you a really good tip to with regard to not using your neck area, okay? So, depending upon what you're looking to do as far as your development would depend somewhat on your stance. But again, this being the 101 series, let's go ahead and do a general shoulder width stance, okay? Like so. Keep the tension on the thigh as you come down and go up. You're going to wind up arching your back slightly. And you're going to let those hips go out like Kelly said. Okay, and notice the pace. Then, short pause to the top. Tense those legs. And to show you what we're talking about. We got barely any weight on there just to show you. Okay, just tense. Okay, so that's essentially what we want to do. Okay, we'll get into our next exercise and we'll show you some modifications on that too.
Okay guys, so now we're going to work on the back of our legs, our hamstrings. So this is a hamstring curl machine, and that is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to actually curl this weight up just like you would with the bicep. So you're going to have your heels hooked underneath the pad. Try and keep the hips pressed into the pad, and then lift using your hamstrings. Control it on the way down. Again, not using momentum. As you see, my knees are slightly off the pad. And same thing here, you want to kind of keep the feet flexed, toes are not pointed. And as it starts to get harder, you're still making sure you're using your hamstrings, not flexing through the low back or bringing the hips up off the pad in order to curl that weight up. And also notice that I don't take my legs out completely straight. Almost that. That is it for that.
All right, guys, so as Kelly said, you want to keep yourself fixed to the machine. Go ahead and get yourself loaded in.
That's the other one.
Oops. Hey. Use this machine before, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, get yourself situated. Heels about shoulder width apart. As you come up, once again, you want to flex. Okay, you want to keep your hips down on the bench. I'll pull up a little bit just so you can see what's going on there. So again, the same kind of keeping the muscle in the tension principle. Come up, pause for a moment, flex. I do like to get maximum extension.
Without hyperextension.
Exactly.
Hyperextension means when you're letting the knee extend too far past its natural joint or too far forward.
So again, you're going to get yourself into a rhythm. By the time you get to the end, if you're getting to the 10th rep and it's hard and you're barely making your 12, you're probably doing good. If you're getting your 12th rep and you can do a few more, your weight's probably a little low. But you can start off there and learn that where your weights go and then go forward from there. Okay, good job.
Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you a hamstring curl on the cable machine. So what I have here is a strap that goes around the ankle. You do want to select usually a lighter weight to get started so you can kind of get accustomed to this exercise before you bring it up. And then you'll hook it on. All right, and then we're going to come down on all fours, dropping down to the elbows. Try and keep the back in a stable, straight position, straighten out the leg, curling in towards the hip. So the only joint moving here is my knee, just curling in towards the hip. Keeping the foot flat or flexed.
And this is a nice alternative or addition to the leg curl that we did on the machine. So if you don't have the machines, you can do this, or if you prefer this, you like that constant tension, you can do this. If it's more comfortable, whatever the case might be.
Then we'll do the other leg. So again, make sure you're not moving through the back. You can also do this exercise with bands. As long as you got your band anchored. And then just come down onto the elbows, get on one knee, keeping the back nice and stable, focusing on that hamstring. So I'm just straightening out the leg and thinking about curling that hamstring up. I like to use these in addition to the hamstring curl machine because I feel like my hamstrings are always lagging, so I like to give them a little extra work. Hey guys, so now we're going to work on our calves, getting towards the end of our leg workout today. So what I have here, I'm at the Smith machine again, and I just have an aerobic step here to give me a ledge to be able to drop my heels off of. So I'm going to step up onto that ledge, underneath the bar, and again I'm sitting this on my traps, not on my neck. I'm going to lift up and then drop the heels down, lift up and drop down. Now on calves we usually do a high rep range because they're kind of stubborn little muscles. So I'll probably do about 20 of these. And on this one I am keeping my toes pointed forward. There is alternate foot positioning you can get. For today we're just going to start with this one. And you do want to use a nice controlled motion. And when I drop those heels is I'm getting that stretch in the calf. So up as high as you can go and then down. A lot of times you'll see people pulsing these. But I'm actually trying to challenge my muscles. We feel a big difference doing it this way versus the bouncing method. And I think that should be it.
Okay guys, so I'm going to do the calves as well. And as Kelly pointed out, the stretch, okay? It's one of the most important things. I worked out in California in my early days. I lived in Venice Beach, actually, believe it or not, and worked out with all the pros out there for the Olympias and whatnot. And so a guy named Tom Platz, who anybody that's into bodybuilding knows, he's like the godfather of legs, showed me some techniques that I want to go ahead and pass on to you. The basic techniques, everybody can use them, whether you're beginner or advanced, doesn't matter. But the stretch was one of the things that he emphasized, okay? Keep in mind, if you can elongate that muscle, you can incorporate all the muscle fibers that you have by stretching it, okay? You have more capability to maximize the strength, the size, flexibility, whatever it might be, okay? So let me go ahead and demonstrate that. I'm going to demonstrate one other technique. The calf is actually a two-part exercise, okay? I want to show you how to do that as well. Get your position. Typically, you're going to want your legs a little bit less than shoulder, okay? So your stance on your feet a little less than shoulder. Again, that stretch, you notice I'm just gently bouncing, okay? That allows for that stretch. Okay, you're going to keep your knees slightly bent, and you're going to bend them a little bit more as you come up. Now, this kind of sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So notice how I'm kind of bending my knees as I come up. And notice what it's doing on my calf immediately. I'm not even doing anything yet. Okay? So again, 1, 2. 1, 2. See that stretch? This incorporates that stretch. 1, 2. 1, 2, okay? More. Okay, once again, you'll notice how I'm tensing at the top, getting the maximum out of that. Okay? When you're done, you can even take a minute, get some additional stretch. Okay, the calf's a stubborn muscle group. You walk on it all day, all your life. Okay? So don't hesitate to do a little bit extra. Okay, good job. Okay guys, if you're working out at home, or if the gym that you have doesn't have certain equipment like a Smith machine or whatever, or if you're working out at your office, whatever the case might be, you can also use a set of stairs, okay, for your calves. Frankly, I use stairs all the time. During COVID also, I was walking around the development doing push-ups, and then off the curb. I was doing it off the curb. So we'll go ahead and give you an idea. If this was a stair, okay, you could do this type of thing. If you ever come into the gym where I work out, you'll see me doing this all throughout my workout, okay? Stretching them, and then I'll go ahead and do some calf raises. Okay, so on the stair, good piece of equipment, okay? It's free, it's probably in your house. Okay, we're going to go on to our final exercise, and we'll get into that.
Okay, so now what we're going to start with is our lunges, and we're just going to do body weight lunges. I'm going to show you the proper form for that. The lunge is actually going to work the entire leg, so you will be working on the glutes, the quads, and the hamstrings, as well as a little bit in the calves, also working on the inner and outer thigh. All right, so what you're going to do here is stand. You're just going to step right out. So it's not a narrow step. Come down to that 90-degree angle, push off. So down, push off. So I'm actually rolling through my foot, pushing off from the heel. Again, notice that I've got my torso right over my hips. I'm not leaning forward and I'm not leaning backwards, and I'm certainly not pushing off my front leg. Both sets of feet are facing forward. And we're going to start with about 8 to 10 reps on this one. That's your start. We can advance from there. Making that nice angle too far over the toe. Ideally, you want it in line with the ankle. All right, I think this should about do it.
So guys, notice how she kept her form, okay? She wasn't wobbling around and so forth. When you first start doing these, you might have a little bit of wobble. It's okay, it's natural until you get used to the movement. Again, these are body weight exercises, and we show you these because, again, this is the 101 series. So we're expecting beginners and intermediates here, or those who maybe have been out of exercise for a while. So this is to get you back into it, give you good solid principles that you can build upon, okay? A couple of other things perhaps on that, and I'll pull up just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So that tension principle. So for example, you come out, you're stretching, okay? This stretches the thigh. When you come up, you're tensing, okay? So you can tense them and get a little bit of extra workout there, okay? You can even do them one at a time if you prefer, okay? I use either a towel. Typically I use a towel in the gym, and I'll hold like this to help me with my balance, okay? So those again are principles that you can utilize. Basic exercise, very effective, okay? Don't disregard it, it's extremely effective, particularly if you do something right before it, okay? So thanks guys, we appreciate you coming. Okay guys, thanks for joining us on another series of our 101 series workout. This is the legs, okay? We still have, the legs and calves actually, we still have a glute video coming up for you, okay? And we have a lot of other great content. We also want to remind you about our coaching, okay? So Kelly, tell them a little bit about our coaching, what the cost is and what it entails.
So we do offer online coaching, which is $150 a month. And what we offer with that is a 30-minute consultation where we will go over your goals and your needs, and then we will write customized workout programs according to those goals, as well as nutrition programs. We will check in with you. How often are we going to check in with you?
So you'll have unlimited email. If you want to email us 10 times a day, I can't promise you we'll get back to you within 10 minutes. Preferably a couple times a day or once a day. Throughout the 30 days, the initial consultation of 30 minutes, we prefer video, okay? You can do it by phone, but we prefer video. It's very comprehensive. We want to make sure that we can get all the detail to you and we can get all the details we need to help you accomplish your goals maximally. Then in the 2-week period, you're going to have another 15-minute video consultation. And then at the 30th day, you'll have another 30-day consultation, okay? And you can continue at that part if you'd like, and we'll continue with the progress. But it's emails every day. You're going to have questions, you're going to have concerns, you're going to have thoughts. At the 2-week period, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of change depending upon where you're at, but maybe the 30-day period, we're going to have to start changing some things, or maybe even at the 1-week period, depends on your body. You may have to change some nutritional parts of the program or an exercise part of the program if you're having some problems with your knees or whatever the case is. There's 7 billion people on the planet, 7 billion different issues. So that's why we want to have these consultations with you, preferably by video, so that we can help you move through the process.
And I believe that's maybe what is a little bit different with our coaching program versus some others. We're not just going to hand you a workout program and say, hey, here it is, do this for 30 days. No, we're here for you. We're going to communicate with you and stay in response with you to find out what your needs are and how we can help.
And as Kelly also said, everything's customized, so it's not just a cookie cutter program. Yeah, there are the basics, and the basics work for everybody, whether you're a beginner or whether you're pro. And we're going to stick with those basics, but we're going to tailor it to your needs, okay, and your goals. Now, your goals and what we feel your goals should be may not be the same, but we'll discuss that through the video conference and get an idea of where we both want to go together. Remember, our goal is to help you accomplish your goals, okay? But we do have a lot of experience. As I stated earlier in this video, I trained with the pros out in California. I've got a tremendous background as a nutritional consultant, 2 pro athletes and 2 very high-level national athletes. Kelly runs a gym. Kelly has different, tell me.
So I believe with Tom and my experience, we can help anyone, specialized population, people with health needs, people with autoimmune diseases, joint joint issues, things like that. All this population I have also worked with, no matter what the age range is, and help people achieve their goals and help people get off medications. I've helped all kinds of things. So I also have over 20 years with fitness and about 15 years with customized nutrition.
Yeah, keep in mind too, we deal with women and men. We're equally adept at both, okay? The principles, again, are similar, but there are definitely differences. And having a female and a male coach work together on those things, I think enhances the benefits for you folks, okay? So if you have any questions, you can hit us up at fitcoaching59@gmail.com. Just send us an email. We'll be happy to respond to you. There's no cost to that. And again, we're here for you. You can send in emails and comments to the video. We'll happily respond to those as well. Okay, if there's anything that you need, please get with us. And again,
yeah, we're here for you. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you like our videos, and continue to learn from the videos that we're putting up for you.
absolutely. Thanks, guys. More great content coming.